Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit of a different video, and it's not going to be just a regular gameplay video. As you can see, the video's almost or nearly 40 minutes long. It's going to be more of a complaint video or a I don't know how to say, but it's going to be talking about the changes to World of Tanks, or whether or not I think the game is going downhill, or what's going on with it, etc., etc., so on. So to start off with, when Wargaming released Update 4.0, they pretty much ended up releasing a new game. As you can hear, there's no volume in the background. It's because I was playing with one of my buddies, and his voice isn't set to share, so you only hear me talking in the background. And I'm not actually playing with one of my buddies. He's in the party. I have a share play on, and his audio settings doesn't allow me to capture his voice to share in a video. Anyways, that's besides the point. I think one of these clips is going to be volume behind it, and I think that's it. But other than that, all these clips, they're not going to have volume behind it. They're just going to have me. But with Update 6.0, Wargaming had pretty much released a brand new game. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, it sucks. I mean, it's playable, but it's not enjoyable anymore. And what sucks about it is the entire HUD's been redone. The entire garage has been redone. The tech trees are a complete and utter mess. Especially the premium tech tree, to get to a certain tier 10 tank, you have to spend like 5 minutes looking for it. Whereas before, it was just all the way over to the right, and that's where it was. And yeah, this update, sorry about the yawns. This update was supposed to simplify everything. It was supposed to simplify everything, which it really did not simplify anything. In fact, it probably made it 10 times harder to figure out everything. You could probably pass geography just from learning how to fucking access everything in this game. You could probably pass geography class by doing that, by playing this game now. And one of the things that everybody's been saying is Wargaming are refusing to acknowledge the player base. They still are. They were refusing to acknowledge the player base back before Update 6.0, and especially now. They seem to love this update as they play their own game. But for everybody else, this is dreadful. And one of the things that's being said is, in the forums, there's been many, many polls, and I have screenshots of them over here on my right on my desktop. I have screenshots of all sorts of polls that have been happening, and the majority of the players seem to be answering against the update. So if I read off a couple of these, I have screenshots. So there's, do you like the new update? And 71% of the players said no, I hate it. And 17% said, no, I don't like it. And then just about 2% said they're unbothered by it. 5% said it's okay. And 3% said they love it. So 71% say they hate it. Then there's, this version of the game makes me want to play, ? And completely disagree, 77% of them, 405 votes, said they completely disagree. Oh, by the way, it's 71% of do you like the new update? That's 376 votes. But 405% say they completely disagree that the game, Update 6.0, makes them want to play the game. And then, will you continue to spend money on this game in its current state? And 85%, 449 people said no, they will not continue spending money on it. And that's only the first capture I have. The second one, the HUD changes. Good, bad, no opinion. 94% of players voted bad. Mind you, this varies and depending on the votes. Not everybody in the forums votes. But out of about 87 people, 81 of them voted the HUD changes are bad. The crew changes. I like the crew changes personally. I find I like the concept behind it, that you have to choose skills to match a certain tank. So like for light tanks, you choose view range and camouflage. For heavies, you choose like it's like an all-round thing. For mediums, you can depending on the medium, you can choose like maneuverability. Some you can choose gun handling, etc., etc. And for the crew changes, out of those 80 something, 72%, 83 or 72 people, 83% said that it was bad. When it comes to upgrading tanks, this is the bad part. This is the tank. The progress through a tank is horrible. Upgrading tanks, 58% said it was bad. So now we're getting down to where it's kind of evening out. People saying good, people saying bad. And then the overall graphics, which I can completely agree with. The graphics are horrible. It's like we went from World of Tanks to like PlayStation 3 Skyrim. It became horrible. Like pre-update 6.0, the game looked amazing. After update 6.0, it's kind of gone downhill. Mind you, they've kind of fixed the graphics now, but other than that, it's still relatively bad. And 60%, 52 votes voted bad for the graphics overall. Then we have equipment changes. Good, bad. And 54%, 47 votes voted bad. The consumables, exactly 50%, half of the people voted bad. 30% voted good, and 17% voted no opinion. And I put the good and the no opinion so that you guys don't get confused, and by me saying 50% said bad, 50% said good. No, there's three different options. There's good, bad, and no opinion. And 17% voted no opinion, 32% voted good, and 50% voted bad. And then the platoon limitation, I like the platoon limitation to 3 players. I agree with it, then so that now you can no longer have 2 arty in a platoon and 3 other tanks. You either have 2 arties and 1 tank, or 3 tanks, or 2 arty, or it's very limited now. There's no longer these huge platoons like what I've came across before is an entire 15 players. There were 3 platoons, and all of them were 3 or 5-man platoons. And on my team, I had 1 platoon of maybe 2 or 3 people. And that's when it comes to the matchmaking, where there's not a pull for the matchmaking. That's an overall. Everybody knows that the matchmaking is horrible. But the platoon limitation, 45% of people said bad. I would say the platoon limitation is good. Because like I said, now you don't have these crazy 5-man platoons dominating games. Now it's 3-man platoons, and it relies more on the overall team. Oh. Now, we come to the actual things concerning World of Tanks and wargaming. And there's, should wargaming roll back the update / revert, or, get rid of this update. And out of, I'd say about 330 players, about 288, that's 85%, voted yes, they should roll back the update. If wargaming doesn't roll it back, do you think World of Tanks will die? Out of that same amount of people, 73% said yes, 247 votes. Do you feel like you've lost the game you loved? 87, 294%, or 87%, 294 people voted yes. And I agree with that. Well, I used to love World of Tanks. I used to play it for fun. I've always been a competitive player, but it was a fun game. Nowadays, you either play tier 10 or you don't play tier 10. You either play tier 10 or you get demolished. Will you stop playing until Wargaming complies and rolls back the update? 55%, 188 votes voted yes. I haven't necessarily stopped playing, but I can definitely tell you I am not playing this game as much as I used to. I only play this game when I want to play and get incredible games. That's really all I've been playing for nowadays. I'm not playing to grind tanks because, like I said, you either play tier 9 or 10 or you get demolished. And those are for that. Now it comes down to this. Wargaming released a poll asking, I don't have a screenshot of it, but they released a poll asking if the player base liked the update. And 92%, if I remember correctly, don't quote me, I might be wrong, but I believe 92% of people said no, they should revert the update and give us back the old version of the game and work on this update more. And I agree. This update is kind of horrid. And hold on. What we're failing... Also, Wargaming told us that we were wrong. They released a poll asking us a question, asking for the answer, which we're the player base. They're not asking each other. The employees at Wargaming, they're not asking each other. They're asking the people that they made this for. It's like my mom said before. You can't make somebody food. Ask them if they like it. If they say no, you tell them they're wrong. No, it's their opinion. They're the ones eating it. They decide whether or not it's good or not. It might be good to you, but you don't disregard their opinion because it's wrong to them. Oh, and there's right here, in the game, I land, I think, like a 1,700 damage shot on this guy. Boom. Yeah, like 1,706. I was getting fed up at the end of the game. You know, our tanks weren't doing anything and we were losing. But, like I was saying, you can't tell somebody they're wrong if you ask them their opinion. And that's what Wargaming did. And also what we're failing to mention, what all sorts of people are failing to mention, is that the people who are in the forums are Wargaming fanboys. They, excuse the profanity, but they will suck Wargaming's dick. They legitimately would. You get banned from the forums if you disagree with anything. You get banned from it. And that's what I mean. Like, you cannot disagree with Wargaming if you are part of the forums. The forums are their platform. They created the forums. If you have anything bad to say or you disagree with anything Wargaming says, you get kicked and banned. And this game, like I said, I think this is the only game that has sound in the background. But, so, the people in the forums, because the Wargaming kick and ban everybody else, the only people that are in the forums are the people that love everything Wargaming do, or the people that say Wargaming are amazing content creators. They're also the ones that'll sit there and say, well, if Wargaming put a lot of effort into something, you can't sit there and say that it's bad because they put a lot of effort into it. You're gonna hurt their feelings. Like, no. If they're putting a lot of effort into something and they release it and the feedback they receive is all negative, or most of it 92% negative, that's not us just trying to hurt Wargaming's feelings. That's the majority of the people who are playing. And mind you, this is the forums that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the overall player base. That 92% that are supposed to love everything Wargaming do have now said that this update is trash. So Wargaming now, not only are they avoiding the overall player base's opinions, they're now avoiding the actual forums that they created and they rely on. Everybody in the forums loves wargaming. Everybody in the forums appreciate wargaming. Everybody in the forums hates everybody and will do anything to ban someone who disagrees with something wargaming has done or has anything bad to say about World of Tanks. So this is all the people who supposedly love World of Tanks, who haven't gotten banned, who will support everything wargaming do, who are saying that this is bad and wargaming are avoiding them. That's what we're failing to mention. Their biggest fans, I guess you could say, their biggest fans in the forums are now saying that this game is trash. And wargaming are avoiding that. Which that only goes to show that wargaming do not care one bit about the game. They don't care one bit about the player base. They don't care one bit about anybody else's opinions but their own. And yes, you can sit there, and I kind of agree. I suspect it that most people who, like the forums manager or the people who actually receive everybody's opinions, you can sit there and I kind of suspect it that they're told to say what they say, where no, this is fine, no, this is fine, no, that's wrong, etc., etc. I suspect that a little bit. However, it's still kind of the forums, which wargaming have created a platform on the forums to help themselves and kind of stroke their own egos on. Those players are saying that this game is bad. They want this update reverted. All the supposed fanboys are saying this. And like I said, that's what we as content creators for YouTube are failing to mention, is that it's the forums. These are all wargaming fanboys. And we've failed.
The fucking controller is 340 fucking heat pad.
You can hear me in the background right now. I was wrong there. I thought I had heat loaded. But it's the forums, and as content creators, we've failed to realize that. So not only is it us who are being ignored, I was part of the forums at one point, I believe. Or maybe it was the PC forums. I don't remember correctly, but I was banned from some sort of forums. I'm almost positive it was console. And I was banned because I didn't like that the 277, the 430U, the 268 version 4 all came into the game with these incredibly horrible nerfs, these incredibly heavy nerfs to the tanks. But tanks like such as this tank in the background, the 5A, the Super Conqueror, the Patton, all these tanks are incredibly powerful. So it creates a gap between good and bad. And if you don't play a certain tank, you're going to get demolished. Or if you play a certain tank, you're going to get demolished. It creates a meta in World of Tanks. And that's something else that I could get into, but it's old news. We all know how wargaming are now. They really don't care for us. But like I said, as content creators and as players, we've failed to realize and we have failed to mention that where the poll was created, wargaming likely created that poll because everybody else in the game or every other player who isn't in the forums were saying that this game was bad. They were saying that this game should be reverted to, if wargaming gave us back WWE, I don't think anybody would care because the HUD would be the same. This game would feel like World of Tanks. And I personally believe that they created that poll on the forums so that they could get all their fanboys and all their die-hard fans to say, yeah, this game is awesome, this update is awesome, and to agree with wargaming, and that seems to have backfired on them. So their excuse and what they've done now is reply with, no, you guys are wrong. I personally believe they created that forum to show everybody and to be able to say, look, everybody's wrong, this update is amazing, and creating that poll on their forums, and everybody sitting there saying, no, this game should be brought back to how it used to be, has backfired on them. So now they have to come up with the excuse, or not the excuse, but they're now saying that everybody's wrong. So now all of us in the player base, in Wargaming's eyes, everybody in the player base is wrong now. We're no longer the customer. We are all now, no, I can't say employees, but all we are now is a sort of income, because there will always be those players that are going to purchase new tanks, and there's always going to be those players that buy gold, and there's always going to be the players that buy the key cards / war chests. But like I said, they created that poll to tell everybody else that the game is awesome, and that backfired on them. So now they're telling everybody that they're wrong. So I don't really know what Wargaming's plans are now. And this is going to be an older replay. This replay, I don't know exactly how long it is, but I don't have a lot to say anymore. So excuse me if I cut the video and I skip to the end and just show you what the ending is. But there isn't much to say anymore, as Wargaming are now an unreliable source. And after this season, after I complete this season of World of Tanks, I'm done with the game, and it's going to be installed or uninstalled, and I'm going to try and turn my channel towards a Call of Duty channel, because as of this morning, the new map for Cold War was released, and I'm going to try and turn this channel towards more of a Call of Duty channel. And I'm going to try and do more live streams, more zombie streams, etc., etc. And I might try one later tonight, or something like that. So, like I said, there's not much to say anymore about Wargaming. Their own forums have turned on them. And like I said, you get banned from the forums if you do turn on them. Essentially, dumbing it down, if you turn on the forums, you do get banned. So I'm not going to be surprised if there's this big old mega ban that was done by Wargaming, and all sorts of people who voted against it, or voted against their wishes, got banned. Wouldn't surprise me. But like I said, they created that poll to tell everybody else that, or my instinct tells me that they created that poll to tell everybody who hates this update and hates the game now, or doesn't like the game. I can't say hate, because I do still like the game. I think most players do still like the game. They just don't like what it's become. And they created that poll to tell everybody who thinks that they're wrong, and this game is an awesome game, and everybody still plays it, and people still like it, and the update is perfectly fine. And when their own forums turned on them and it backfired, they told everybody that they were wrong. And Wargaming doesn't like that. So like I said, there's not much to say about Wargaming anymore. And this isn't a scripted video. I actually have this is scripted. I actually have my book over here of the certain things that I wanted to talk about, especially about the forums, and how we've failed to mention that the forums are actually the people that Wargaming keep, because they're usually the ones that are going to support them. And so yeah, I think this is going to be the end of the video here. I'm probably going to skip to the end of this, and I'm probably going to I'm not going to let another replay play, because the other one that I have in this video is already up on the channel. It's an E100 game. And I think that's, sorry if I keep hitting the mic and you hear it, I think that's going to be the end of this video. Yeah. So I'll cut to the end of this game, show you guys what the end of this game is. It's already up on the channel, but I'll cut to the end and show you what the damage and the damage numbers are. But yep, that's the end of the videos. Or the video, and this is going to be the last, likely the last video that I post of World of Tanks before I delete the game. or until further notice. When I delete the game or when I delete the game until further notice. If they do something good, I'm gonna keep up to date with World of Tanks. But after, like I said, as of this season, when I'm done the season and I complete the season, I think I'm already at 32. When I'm done the season, I'm done with World of Tanks. So I'll see you guys with another World of Tanks video sometime probably between now and when I complete the season. But until then, I'll be back with another World of Tanks video if Wargaming decide to do something that'll actually help the game and when they acknowledge their community, because it's about time that they start doing that. So, peace, guys.